We all want to own our own home or even purchase property. And this, as we know, it can be a huge investment. I often tell myself that often the single largest investment that any person will undertake during a lifetime is owning a home. And there are very limited options generally, particularly as it relates to mortgage. And this can be difficult for many people. Today we have joining us Mr. Albert Paul from National Cooperative Credit Union in Dominica. Welcome, Mr. Paul.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, my name is Albert Paul. I'm the loans manager for the National Cooperative Credit Union. I've been employed at the credit union, well, with the movement for over 24 years now. I worked in various branches of various parts of the institution until finally I became the loans manager. So I'm here to talk to you about what our products and services are. So hopefully that we can get a surge of members coming up.
Yeah, well, very, very nice to have you. And we could start by telling everybody a little bit about your background in the financial industry.
Okay, great. Well, sometime in 1997, I moved from one institution, I won't call the name, and I joined the credit union movement. But I've always been part of the credit union movement in one shape or form. When I started off as a junior clerk in the member services section, and I moved up. I got qualified, and then from there I became a supervisor. From a supervisor, I worked in different areas, different locations, different branches, and then eventually I ended up in the loans department. But I've worked in the loans department several times before, as a loans officer, as a loan supervisor, and then the loans manager. So it's been a long journey, but a very fruitful journey, I must say.
Great, yeah. Great.
Tropics Car Rental is one of the highest rated rental companies on the island of Dominica, specializing in car and motorcycle rentals, airport pickups and drop-offs, moving of heavy cargo including transportation from the port or building materials to your home. A variety of vehicle options await you, from small to mid-sized cars, sub-trucks and motorcycles. Tropics Car Rental, 767-617-6097.
What's the first thing that I should consider when thinking about a mortgage?
I always tell people that when you're going to take that step to get a mortgage, you need to have a plan. Whether you're building or whether you're buying, you need to have that plan. No longer we look at houses as this big ornament that most people look at and go back and say that you have this big house. No, there must be a plan, so you need to know what your intentions are. If you're going to build, what's the size of your family? Is my family going to move away? Is it going to just be me or my partner later down? So building with a plan is essential. And then when you've developed this plan, then you move from there. Then you approach the credit union and officer and then tell them, okay, well, this is what I intend to do. Are you going to use the property to earn an additional income? Because I know things are getting harder as the years go by. Are you going to use the property for business purposes? Or is it something that is just a first step and then you intend to sell that property later on? So have that plan and then you come to us and then you approach us and then we can work out something that.
Yeah, interesting you mentioned plan. Is there some advice that you would give to potential homeowners in terms of how do they set up this plan? Is it something that you would suggest that they come to you while they're thinking of it or before they actually meet with the loans officer? Or is there some set of guidelines that you can direct them to, a website, whatnot? How should they go about this plan?
I think it's essential that every member, well, we call them members at the credit union and not customers because of the relationship that we have. Yes. I think that every member needs to own a piece of something moving forward. Right. Most persons, they look at a house and then they say, okay, well, I want one of those. But is it something that is going to fit into your long-term intentions? So I just want a house just for having a house sake. Right. So we advise members that you come in even before you even go to the planning approval or have something on paper. Come in, speak to an officer and say, well, later down or at this point in time, I want to acquire a house. I want to build, I want to buy a house. So what do I need to do? Or what do you think is best given my salary? And our officers can also peek into the future and say, well, based on your current status, okay, you're making this much now. A couple of years down the line, you may get promoted, you may move to different, you may make a little bit extra, so this might fit in better with you.
Yeah.
On today's Do It Bites, we're gonna help you shop easy. No longer do you have to come in to buy every single thing. If you're one of those who likes to let their eyes boil their peas, then by all means, come in. But for those of us trying to save some valuable time on a project, or maybe just to avoid these long checkout lines, all you need to do is log on to our website, store.doitcenterdominica.com, where you will find practically everything at your fingertips. And if for some reason you can't find what you're looking for, you can talk to me. I'm only one click away, right here in the bottom corner. Payment options include, number one, what I call BOPIS, buy online, pay in store. Number two, pay using the very simple and convenient NBD mobile banking. And number three, for those of us shopping from abroad, credit card authorization is also available. Call us at 618-2357 for more information. And you want to know what's even better? Delivery services is coming to you very, very soon. See you next time for another Do It Bites.
One of the statistics I remember very early on, particularly meeting with different people from different islands, was that Dominica seemed to have had a higher incidence of home ownership than some of the other Eastern Caribbean islands, or even in the CARICOM on a larger scale. So do you find there's a lot of people that you are serving through the credit union in terms of mortgages, and if so, is there any specific message as it relates to the issue of planning that you speak about? Would you advise, for instance, that it be a formal, documented point thing? Okay, I should do this, then that, and that. Before I come to you, maybe a checklist, some of the things.
Well, we do have a checklist, yeah. So you come in and you speak to the officer. You tell, it doesn't necessarily have to be something official or anything that's we're going to hold you to or you're going to hold yourself to. But just have a conversation with the officer. Tell them what you intend to do, and then they will advise you. And we've been in this for many, many years, 40, 50 years. So we have experiences that we can actually relate to the members. Know what this person has done, how it turned out. So we try to avoid mistakes that have been done in the past. Yeah.
Thinking of building or purchasing a new home? Come to the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We help our members find their way through the mortgage loan process. Schedule a visit to the loans department today to determine your loan eligibility. Once you qualify, come to your scheduled mortgage loan appointment prepared with a few things, including your letter of employment, approval letters, your building plans, and various quotations. A loans officer will contact you once you are approved. You are now required to submit security documents, your salary deduction order from your employer, and the security percentage of the mortgage loan. The NCCU takes care of the rest, including your first disbursement to acquire the certificate of title and get you sorted with the start of construction. This includes visits by evaluators. Upon completion, submit a valuation report to the loans department with your paid insurance policy and a copy of the cover note. Update your account information and let the NCCU welcome you home today. Visit at any of our branches.
What about mortgages? Are there different types that the customers should know about?
Well, we have two types of mortgages. Well, three. The third one is more of a hybrid. The first type we have, of course, is a personal mortgage. You build a house for yourself and your family. That mortgage rate is 6.5%. We'll get to the rate a little bit later. And then we have our commercial mortgages, which are 8%. Now the hybrid, the reason I call it a hybrid is that persons, you build a house, but then you also have intentions to rent it out. I know a lot of people doing Airbnb now. You may probably have a shop that you want to put at the bottom of your home. All these are income generating ventures that we encourage members to do as much as possible. So that's where the hybrid comes in. So you have your home, you're living in your home, but then it also earns income for you some way, somehow. The commercial mortgage is strictly you build something to rent or to occupy your business or something of that nature. So it's strictly commercial, you don't live here. And that's at 8%. With the hybrid, it's still at 6.5%. So you tell us that you want to build a home, but then you also provide documentation to say, well, okay, I'm also going to do this, so that we can factor that into your analysis whenever we're doing the mortgage for you, so that it sort of makes it a little bit easier for you in terms of the calculations.
Yeah. And that's a very good point, and I think that is useful information, because oftentimes people have that intention, but they don't communicate that probably to the loans officer, and as a result there's a benefit, as you're saying, there's a benefit of the lower interest rate, which they will assume if just through the conversation with you.
That's true. Interestingly, we've had people that come in and they tell us that I want to build a house, but the intention is to use it for commercial purposes. Yeah. So they start to build this house, and then they separate into 5, 6 rooms that they're going to rent out, and they run into difficulties, because then you have the inland revenue that you have to deal with, then you have your tenants are complaining about certain things, and then you need to get more money to do. Yeah. But then when you come for the additional funds, when we look at the project, because obviously you're going to have a valuation, what the project entails, and it sort of creates a bit of difficulty. So that's why you come in, you tell us, okay, that's what your intention. I want to build a personal property, fine. I want to build a commercial property, fine. I want to build a hybrid because, no, I'm skilled, I can make crafts, I have a shop, or my grandmother or my auntie sends couple, what's that spritz thing that they use? Something from overseas that I could sell in a little room downstairs. You let us know, and then we could work based on that. But don't come in and say that I want a mortgage for personal use because I have my family, and then we find out that it's being used for some other commercial purpose, which is going to run into difficulties later on. Yeah.
Welcome to L.A. Dupini Fabric Store, where we offer quality and affordable fabric, from African prints to Madras to uniform fabric, also wedding materials and sheeting fabric. Ask about our loyalty program, where we offer discounts to our trade customers.
Come upstairs to Caribbean Lifestyle, where we have ready-made curtains, kitchen mats, anywhere mats, comforter sets, sheet sets, bathwares such as your towels, your hand towels, your wash rags, and all your other needs. We women, we love a cozy home. So if you're moving to a new house or you just want to spice it up a bit, we also have gift registry available, where we can help you make your house into a home.
Visit us at L.A. Dupini Hardware Store for your tools, your kitchen accessories, your paint accessories, and we have garden tools. Don't have the money now, but that's okay. Take advantage of our layaway plan.
Merci pour venir nous acheter dans L.A. Dupini. Venez encore.
In terms of the timing, at what point would you suggest that someone who is intent on getting a mortgage come to you so that there can be some dialogue on affordability? Because I think oftentimes, people have plans about doing things, and they go about their plans, maybe even their building plans to physical planning, etc., will be based on this idea, and then what they will meet with you later and realize, hey, this is no longer affordable, and then they have to go back, scale back those building plans, and then it becomes almost a plan in reverse. So is there a typical point at which you would say that someone with the intention of mortgaging should come to you and speak to you maybe before building plans are even in production, I don't know, but to provide that advice and say, okay, look, based on your situation, this is what we can do for you, and tailor that based on what they will do in terms of building plans, architecture, etc., etc.
Well, as soon as possible. As soon as you start to work, you start earning an income, you need to think about an investment, you need to think about the future. I always tell most of my members that if I had known better, I would have bought property when I was in my teens, because luckily I started working when I was in my teens, 18, 19, I started like full-time employment. I would have bought property then. I did it later down in my 20s, which is still a little bit late, but I mean, as early as possible, have that intention, that plan that you're going to build. So you start to work, you're earning, it could be $1,000 a month, you think of the future, okay, what happens beyond that $1,000? Or with $1,000, what can I logically get from that in the future? So that's why as soon as you start working, you come in. And it's good to build a relationship with a financial institution, especially a credit union. Simply because if you wait too long to actually come into the credit market and start to access loans and credit, it's going to be more difficult for you, because we're going to be doing more background checks. We're going to be trying to build a profile on you, and a lot of members find that process is a little bit cumbersome, it's delayed, but it's us actually trying to get to know who you are.
Alexa, turn off the kitchen lights.
You can control your devices connected to
We often hear the words credit check when we watch North American television. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, it goes back to what I said initially in terms of building a profile. Because the financial institution, we're actually giving you money to do something for your benefit, but then we also want something in return. That is how business works. So the credit check is basically looking at your profile, seeing the type of person that you are. Are you going to pay your loans? Are you going to be somebody that we can actually build a relationship with for a long time? Currently, we give our members credit reports. The credit report is a document that you receive at the credit union, and you take to various other institutions within the credit market so that we can pull information and build your profile. That is something that is becoming a little bit outdated, simply because you take your document to someone else, and that person also is interested in your business. So we have a lot of poaching and all those things. And most persons right now don't have time. So to ask someone to come into your institution to pick up 10 or 20 documents to go to various places to get credit checks, it's sort of difficult. So building a profile is one way that we try to alleviate that, and as well as using the internet, using our systems that actually afford us. So you have an account with another institution. Now, I'm not calling out the institutions because I'm trying to stay away from that. You have an account at the institution, but you have online banking. We could pull off information from your online banking. So it's personal to you. So you come in, you sit with the officer. Remember, the officer would know pretty much everything about you when you go to do a loan. You pull information from your online account, and then you present it to us. Now, these documents are valid because it's coming straight from your online account. So it prevents you from actually going about, you're not at work, you're missing time at work, and then you have to go to different places to get those credit checks.
Tropics Car Rental is one of the highest rated rental companies on the island of Dominica, specializing in car and motorcycle rentals, airport pickups and drop-offs, moving of heavy cargo including transportation from the port or building materials to your home. A variety of vehicle options await you, from small to mid-sized cars, sub-trucks and motorcycles. Tropics Car Rental, 767-617-6097.
So there would normally be, you would provide let's say a list of guidelines as to what the lender would be, what the customer would be, member, as you say, would be required to bring to you in order for you to facilitate the credit report. Yeah, okay. And maybe you could share a few of those requirements.
Okay. When I'm securing a loan or trying to secure a loan, we need to know what your income is. So that is where the starting point is. Where do you work? How much do you make? Do you have commitments? A lot of these things are on your salary slip. So you bring that in, your salary slip, and then you bring in your employment letter, because we need to know that you're permanently employed. There are situations where we do give loans to persons that have temporary employment or employment on contractual basis. But then we need to know how long that's going to be, because if your contract is a year, we can't give you a loan for 5 years, that sort of thing. So we need to know what your employment status is. Having assessed your employment status, and if some information is not available on your salary slip, then we give you the credit checks, the credit reports. You take to different institutions to pull it. You may say that, okay, no, I don't have anything at this institution. I don't have anything at that institution, but then we just need to verify. Again, if we actually had a profile on you before, then we will more likely go based on what you tell us or based on what your salary slip says. So building the profile is essential, and building an accurate profile is also essential. So we give you the credit checks. You go about. So you have your salary slip, your employment letter. We do the credit checks, and then we get into what exactly you need to do, what you need the funds for. I need to purchase a house. I need to buy a car. I need to help assist my son or daughter with some educational expenses, that sort of thing. So.
On today's Do It Bites, we're going to help you shop easy. No longer do you have to come in to buy every single thing. If you're one of those who likes to let their eyes boil their peas, then by all means, come in. But for those of us trying to save some valuable time on a project, or maybe just to avoid these long checkout lines, all you need to do is log on to our website, store.doitcenterdominica.com, where you will find practically everything at your fingertips. And if for some reason you can't find what you're looking for, you can talk to me. I'm only one click away, right here in the bottom corner. Payment options include, number 1, what I call BOPIS, buy online, pay in store. Number 2, pay using the very simple and convenient NBD Mo Banking. And number 3, for those of us shopping from abroad, credit card authorization is also available. Call us at 618-2357 for more information. And you want to know what's even better? Delivery services is coming to you very, very soon. See you next time for another Do It Bites.
We often hear of this mortgage insurance. I don't know, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, there are two types of mortgage or insurances that we have. Well, the first type is a general loan protection insurance that we call it. You get loan protection insurance up to $150,000. So whatever your loan is, $150,000 of that is actually covered by your loan protection insurance. So which means that if anything were to happen to you, your untimely death, for instance, the credit union would normally cover your loans of up to $150,000. And then we have general property insurance, the property insurance that covers your investment. So we encourage members to get property insurance as well. Well, it's a mandatory thing, standard that you get property insurance. The property insurance, we have various institutions that offer insurance coverage. And then the good thing about the credit union, since it's a membership-based organization, we actually have a relationship with these insurance companies, and they offer group insurance. So the insurance rate that you pay is a little bit lower than what you normally pay if you go in as a single individual asking for insurance. Unfortunately, after Maria, the premium rates actually increased. It was usually around 5 to 6% before Maria. After Maria, is now about 8 to 9%, which is a little bit high, but the insurances have to protect themselves. We can understand that. But we're still trying to negotiate to see if we can actually meet in the middle between 6 and 8, gives the members something that, no, it's reasonable, because the other thing is that you need to make a provision for that insurance. So you actually have to save towards that insurance. If, for instance, you haven't saved enough, then we also have a fallback where we could actually add that to your loan at no cost to you. You pay additional interest, but I mean at no cost to you. So, but we encourage you to get property insurance.
So is there a benefit then for your members to get those types of insurances through you as opposed to them going directly to the surety company?
The loan protection insurance is guaranteed. Once you're a member of the credit union, then you fall under the umbrella of loan protection insurance. We also have savings insurance. Previously, just a side note, members would say that, okay, when I die, whatever I have at the credit union is going to be doubled. This may have been so before. It's a similar concept, but the savings insurance, we have to do some calculation based on your age, your employment, how long you've been working, that sort of thing. But you do get something back on your savings in the case that you pass. And then the loan protection insurance is standard. So once you get a loan, you're under that umbrella. Right. The property insurance is something that you only get if you're taking a mortgage loan or if the loan that you're taking is secured by a property that has a building on there. If you get what I'm saying, yeah.
Thinking of building or purchasing a new home? Come to the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We help our members find their way through the mortgage loan process. Schedule a visit to the loans department today to determine your loan eligibility. Once you qualify, come to your scheduled mortgage loan appointment prepared with a few things, including your letter of employment, approval letters, your building plans, and various quotations. A loans officer will contact you once you are approved. You are now required to submit security documents, your salary deduction order from your employer, and the security percentage of the mortgage loan. The NCCU takes care of the rest, including your first disbursement to acquire the certificate of title and get you sorted with the start of construction. This includes visits by evaluators. Upon completion, submit a valuation report to the loans department with your paid insurance policy and a copy of the cover note. Update your account information and let the NCCU welcome you home today. Visit at any of our branches.
The application for mortgage at NCCU, how long is that process?
To be honest, we've had some shortfalls before where the process took a little bit longer than we would have liked. But right now we've sort of like got it down to about a week. But ideally, we're looking at it just a couple of days, 2 to 3 days to actually get everything in and have it processed. The application process, as I said, you come in, you have a discussion, you bring in the necessary documentation, the officer sits with you, we discuss your plan, we discuss what you need to do, what your intentions are, as I said, moving forward, and we do an application. So the application is done, you sign, then the application goes through a review process. There are several officers within the institution, officers and managers that actually can review your application. So that is reviewed. Once the application is reviewed, then it goes to our credit committee. The credit committee approves the application, and then within, as I said, 2 to 3 days or a week, your application is approved, and then you can get disbursement on the application.
Okay, so if you can take it from the point at which a member comes in first to meet, to discuss, the time from that, let's say, first discussion to approval, how long is that?
Well, the member can discuss over the phone as well, because with COVID-19, you have a lot of restrictions. So the member can also discuss over the phone. But if the member does come in to have a discussion, it usually takes about an hour to actually sit with the officer. There are a lot that can be discussed in an hour, and an hour can also go very quickly. But at least an hour, you sit with the officer, and then you can have a solid conversation of what you need to do and what you have to do. We also understand that there are different levels of worker, because the credit union is considered, our current motto is one big family. We may look into probably amending that and probably improvising on that in the future, but it's one big family. So we understand that there are different levels of people within the family. And I mentioned earlier that some members, we need to be permanently employed, whatnot. We do have members that are not permanently employed. We do have members that are temporary. We do have members that own their own business. So we do cater for that. For persons that have their own business, we have our business development unit. that we also intend to expand and improve. Where you come in, you present your business. If you're keeping records, you present your records, we go for your records, and then we build that profile, business profile for you. If you're temporary, you're temporary or you're not permanently employed, but you're still engaged with different individuals at different places doing work, you're actually working, you come into us, and then we can also build a profile on you. Because what we're trying to do, as I said, we're trying to keep our members and we're trying to build you up. So just because you're not permanently employed doesn't mean that you're off the market and we're not going to look. A lot of institutions, they're very strict when it comes to that because they don't want to take the chance. But if you don't take the chance on someone, then the person is not going to grow. So that's what we encourage persons to do. Come and talk to us and tell us, okay, earlier, I'm not permanently employed now, or the jobs are not, but I still want to do something for myself.
You have passed quite a bit of information in that minute or two. But if you can go now to the permanent versus temporary workers, because I think that's very important, because it touches on what I think we most of us seem to feel, that lending institutions will not give you time of day if you don't have a permanent job. And so if you're temporarily employed, either you're employed through contract or you are not appointed, or anything of that sort, which would suggest that you are not permanently employed, it means that you're a disadvantage to a lending institution. And you're saying, no, that's not a disadvantage. So share that information to our viewers, because that's very important information that I think everybody will be interested in hearing.
And that is a general conception that people have, that you're not permanently employed, that you're off the market or nobody's going to look at you. But we're saying no, we're trying to change the whole dynamic of that. And we're saying that it's an all-inclusive financial institution, and everybody should have a chance to actually develop themselves. Because I remember growing up, my mother wasn't permanently employed. Well, she has her own business now, but my mother wasn't permanently employed. But when she turned over my account to me when I started to work, I had about $4,000 on there. And $4,000 on an account in the 90s, that's a lot of money. And my mother used to save a little $10 there and a little $5 here, but it built up over a period of time. Sure. And the only reason that she was able to move from not being permanently employed to actually owning her own business and actually come into the credit union now and get a lot of credit is because she built that profile. And the credit union was built on people coming in, like the moms and pops, the farmers, the quote unquote, the people who were off the radar, that came in and then they took loans and then they built the credit union. And the reason why we $40 how many million now in assets is because of these people. So we can't overlook these people. So the new generation of these people, who are the IT techs, who are probably the people that work once a week because they're probably doing something online, these are the people that we have to try to attract now.
Alexa, turn on the kitchen lights.
You can control your devices connected.
So I hear you, Mr. Paul. Yeah. So what I'm taking from that and what I can share with our viewers is profile. You know, start as small as you can and build that profile, because at the end of the day, it will all work out for you. Profile. Remember that. There are situations that I've come in contact with where people would like to develop a space which already exists. So maybe their parents live in they live in a home, and the children want to develop on that. If it's to build on another story of the home or whatever, how can you speak to that?
Well, I think what you're talking about is called a strata property. The credit union does finance strata properties. Usually, you buy a piece of land that belongs to you and you build something on there. But then we do have situations where the family owns a property. So that property belongs to the parents or some family member. And the family wants to, as a close to the family, they want to develop this property. So everybody has their quote unquote, their section, as they say in local parlance. So yes, so there is a possibility to do a strata property, whereby the land is owned by one individual, part of the family, who authorizes the other family members to actually build on it. And the credit union does finance that. So we give you the monies to actually build your own space. Or if there's a space and there are different floors or different levels on that space, we can give you monies to actually finance this particular space. So that's where the strata. And it's a similar situation that exists in the Kalinago territory, where the people in the territory don't actually own the land, but they are given monies to actually build a property. So they own the property or the house that's on the land. They don't own the land, but the house belongs to them. So that is something that the credit union does finance. And it's a modern way or a futuristic way of actually encouraging persons to own something without actually owning everything, if you understand.
Very, very powerful, and I think very, very important, useful information because I imagine there are a lot of people in that situation and would like to know how they can exploit that situation.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of our members who are young. Their parents may have gotten older. Their parents may be retired. They're the sole breadwinner. They want to be able to look after their parents, so they want to house their parents properly, but they don't want to move too far away from their parents. So they want to develop something private for themselves. So that's where the strata comes in. So you get the authorization from the parents who actually owns the land, and then you build something that is comfortable for you. Something that, you have your little space where you could play your games, you can entertain friends, that sort of thing, away from your parents, but then you're still in close proximity that you could go visit your parents. So that is a good thing.
Thinking of building or purchasing a new home? Come to the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We help our members find their way through the mortgage loan process. Schedule a visit to the loans department today to determine your loan eligibility. Once you qualify, come to your scheduled mortgage loan appointment prepared with a few things, including your letter of employment, approval letters, your building plans, and various quotations. A loans officer will contact you once you are approved. You are now required to submit security documents, your salary deduction order from your employer, and the security percentage of the mortgage loan. The NCCU takes care of the rest, including your first disbursement to acquire the certificate of title and get you sorted with the start of construction. This includes visits by evaluators. Upon completion, submit a valuation report to the loans department with your paid insurance policy and a copy of the cover note. Update your account information and let the NCCU welcome you home today. Visit at any of our branches.
What makes NCCU better, different from the other institutions?
Well, over the years, especially now, one of the first things that people tell me, that our members tell me, your rates are too high, because our rates are 6.5%, and then some of the institutions offer rates that are a little bit lower. But our rates are 6.5% with benefits. The lower rates that you get, they don't always, or not they don't always, they actually don't offer you any sort of benefit, because you do get those lower rates, and it's attractive for about a week, and then afterwards you have to come back to the credit union and say, well, I'm in this situation, I need more financing. Because I found that a lot of members actually go to a run after these lower rates, that they don't realize that they have a lot of hidden fees, and there's something beneath the surface that they don't see. Because these rates, if you need to do any changes to your initial contract, it will increase your rates. If you need to probably expand your properties, increase your rates. Insurances increase your rates. COVID-19 will increase your rates. At the credit union, you get a 6.5%. That 6.5% is on a reducing balance, which means that as the loan gets older, your amount that goes to interest decreases. You can also refinance. So if you're paying $500 today, Your loan gets smaller, you can pay $400 and $300, that sort of thing. The 6.5% comes, as I said, with a lot of benefits. You get your guaranteed loan protection insurance. You get your savings protection insurance as well. You need to come in tomorrow. You've just gotten your mortgage, and then an emergency happens. You need $2,000-$3,000. You come in. That's not going to affect your payments. We also have attachments to your loan. We have, for now, you have your line of credit. You have your checking accounts. The checking accounts come with overdrafts. So all those benefits are things that you will not get anywhere else. So yes, the $200 or $300 that you may think that you're saving is actually something that you're going to commit to something else, because you won't be able to get the addition at the bank when you go there.
Yeah, you have spoken about the word members quite throughout our discussion, but maybe you can just expound a little bit on is there any difference between what the NCCU would call a member and what other institutions may call a customer?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. The customer is someone that comes to your home, an acquaintance, comes to your home, but you don't necessarily know the person. You invite them because of probably who they are. They may be your priest, your pastor, or probably someone doing a delivery. So you invite them to your home to do a specific thing. A member, we call that in Dominica home people. They come, they can go to your fridge, they can sit on your couch, and you don't feel any way about it because these are people that you know. So that's why we consider our members. The principle of the credit union has always been people helping people. So that is where the membership thing comes in. That people helping people, and a lot of times you will usually help people that you know. So that's where the members come in. So people helping people and people that we know, and that's where the profile comes in as well. You build a profile, you know this person. This is somebody. I mean, if I know John, I don't want John to run into any financial difficulty because I know John. John may not be permanently employed. John may not be on the radar, as it were, in terms of working. But I know John, and I want John to succeed. So that is where the membership comes in. That we want you to succeed, and we want you to succeed as a family. So, yeah.
On today's Do It Bites, we're gonna help you shop easy. No longer do you have to come in to buy every single thing. If you're one of those who likes to let their eyes boil their peas, then by all means, come in. But for those of us trying to save some valuable time on a project, or maybe just to avoid these long checkout lines, all you need to do is log on to our website, store.doitcenterdominica.com, where you will find practically everything at your fingertips. And if for some reason you can't find what you're looking for, you can talk to me. I'm only one click away, right here in the bottom corner. Payment options include, number one, what I call BOPIS, buy online, pay in store. Number two, pay using the very simple and convenient NBD Mo Banking. And number three, for those of us shopping from abroad, credit card authorization is also available. Call us at 618-2357 for more information. And you want to know what's even better? Delivery services is coming to you very, very soon. See you next time for another Do It Bites.
Anything else you feel that you would wish to share?
Well, I'm encouraging all the members to come into the credit union, open an account if you don't have one. If you already have an account that has been inactive for a while, come and update your account. Build a profile with us. As my friend said, profile, it's important. And come and get a loan. Build a credit profile. Come and take loans with us. You don't have to start large. You could take a short-term loan, and then you take regular short-term loans, and then we know who you are. And as well, I'd like to thank everyone here for inviting me and talking about the credit union. I'm very passionate about the credit union, and I want the credit union to grow. So please, make it a duty next week, tomorrow, tonight, come to the credit union and open an account. Thank you.
And Mr. Paul, this has been beyond what I would have expected. The information that you shared has been spot on. It is information that I am sure you'll be receiving calls tomorrow about. There's information there which I didn't know about, and certainly will be enlightening and assist me in any future endeavors. I think it's very powerful. I think the message has been very strong, and I thank you very much wholeheartedly for sitting down with us today. And all the best to you and the NCCU.